Osho would give them thousands of things to learn to accept from, because he was a shit stirrer. Would they learn? No. The whole thing was a setup. Masters like him taught devices. Devices designed so you could learn to surrender. The reason they play music at supermarkets is so you can dance. How many of you dance at the supermarket? Yeah, we got 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, we got some dancers. That's why they put music on, so you can dance. So many people are so frightened of what other people think that they don't dance. They're so frightened of what other people think, they give away their power because they want to be accepted. They're so frightened of what other people think, they sell out to get along. They twist themselves into knots that they are not to get acceptance. And there's no freedom in that. I think my whole adult life I've been attempting to empower people, because people who sell out are well and truly disempowered. The only time you notice them empowered is when they get angry. And that's a form of violence, which is a bit sad. There's no need to sell out to get along. There's people who will accept you and there's people who won't. You don't need the whole world accepting you. The foundation for higher consciousness is self-acceptance. When you don't accept yourself, you look for acceptance outside yourself. You sell out to get along, to get people to like you. And a lot of these people don't even care about you, because they're probably looking for self-acceptance somewhere along the line as well. When you can truly self-accept, you don't have any low self-worth anymore. You don't need to sell out to get other people's approval. And so this is the foundation of higher consciousness. People love to go further ahead and try to find the space and try to find no mind and try to find heart. They love to try to be further ahead than they really are. But the bottom line is, if you haven't organised self-acceptance yet, you haven't really begun. Because it'll always come back. It'll always take you back. In self-acceptance, we learn to accept the world. And in accepting the world, we learn to surrender. I don't know another way, actually. If you can't surrender, you can't play the game. And if you're not very good at self-acceptance, you definitely won't be good at surrender. Now that's all against nature as well. In nature, we resist to survive. And it works. In higher consciousness, resistance takes you back into lower consciousness and you fail. And the only way that you succeed in getting acceptance down is if you keep practicing it. Over and over and over again, because it's foreign to us. It's not part of our primary survival mechanism. So you can pretend to accept, but that doesn't count. In true absolute acceptance, whatever story you've been running no longer exists. It's gone. And someone who lives in self-acceptance, generally speaking, won't have anything happening in their heads. They'll be quiet. Self-acceptance brings peace. A mind that doesn't self-accept, a mind that is in resistance to the way the world is, whatever that may be, will be a noisy mind. In my day, I was into all sorts of different fights. Physical fights, debating, verbal abuse, you name it. I was a real warrior. But that's just suffering. It wasn't until I learnt to accept the world as it is that I stopped suffering. And I'd blame the world for my suffering, but it wasn't the world that was creating suffering in me, it was me. Because of my resistance to the world, my non-acceptance of the world as it was. And so if you're suffering, and a lot of you do, I can read it in your energy fields, you are creating that. It's not someone else or something else, you're doing it to yourself. You are wholly responsible for creating your reality. This is good news, not bad news, because it means you can do something about it. I haven't really suffered in the last 50 years, not much, because I don't resist life. I can't be bothered. I think it's a form of stupidity. Why would I want to shake my fist at God and say you got it wrong? That would be so stupid. Yet that's what the majority of the human population on this planet do. They resist. And they suffer. And I'd like to see people suffering less, or not at all. That would be nice. But as long as you resist, as long as you don't accept life as it is, because things are definitely going to go wrong. Matter of fact, you're going to lose everything you got if you live long enough. As long as you don't learn acceptance, you will be taking yourself to hell. And it won't be the world that takes you to hell, or your family, or your friends, or someone who's done the wrong thing by you. It will be you. But because of your unconsciousness, you'll probably blame someone else. As you become more conscious, you see it so clearly that you create your own reality by the way you think. And so after a while, you've got to remove the resting bitch face. Because it's not the world that's doing it to you. It's you. Anything we don't accept causes suffering in us, which a lot of people, when they are really, really, really unconscious, like to share with their family. They like to share the pain, which is another form of immaturity, really, when you look at it. Mature adults take care of other people. They don't sink them. And as long as you're not accepting life as it is and you're creating resistance to life, you're very capable of sinking yourself and anyone who comes in contact with you. Now, some of you won't have liked a word I've said, and it won't have penetrated the impenetrable ignorance you surround yourself with. I've been giving this talk for 50 years to people. And do you think people hear me? They say yes, but they don't change, which means they don't hear me. They just pretend. Because it's inconvenient to change the way you think. It takes effort. It takes work. It's not a magic wand that someone waves over you and all of a sudden you think differently. If that was true, if there was such a magic wand, the American government would be using it on its people. Oh, and the Australian government as well. There's no magic wand. You've been brainwashed to be efficient little machines since you were very little. You were never brainwashed to be happy. You were never brainwashed to find love. You were brainwashed to compete with your brothers and sisters, so one day you might be able to hold a rifle and shoot the enemy. Fortunately, you're in a mystery school that involves unbrainwashing you. And I've been involved in these type of schools for 50 years. Because like you, I was brainwashed into believing in a whole pile of stuff that wasn't true, that served someone else besides me. Where were you taught at school to accept life as it is? The only thing that can actually make you happy. Where were you taught it? More than likely you were taught not to accept yourself, but to beat yourself up so you could get a better result. How ugly is that? People want to go straight to beingness. They want to jump over everything. They don't want to do the work. I watched it with Osho, sannyasins. They just come along to satsang, shut their eyes and drift off into some kind of la-la land. You want to do the work, you can change. You want to get stoned on my energy field, you're wasting your time. It won't help you. I watch so many people do that around Osho. So many thousands do that around Osho. What a waste of their time. Osho would give them thousands of things to learn to accept from, because he was a shit stirrer. Would they learn? No. He even got them to make love to each other's partners, so they would contract and go into resistance, so they could learn acceptance. But did they learn? No. It was all a setup. The whole thing was a setup. Masters like him taught devices. Devices designed so you could learn to surrender. Did the sannyasins see what he was doing? No, because they had their heads too far up their own asses to see what he was actually up to. And he was tricky. He even explained that that's what he did. Set up devices so people could learn surrender. Yet no one saw it. None except those whose consciousness levels were high enough to see it. And there were very few of those. Mystery school, this school is intervention. I'm not going to say things that make you feel happy. People who just say things that make you happy and talk about heart usually have their hand in your back pocket feeling your wallet. They don't have an intention of actually helping you. If you don't change the way you think, you will stay lost, because it is only a mind that has been trained that will support heart and support enlightenment. That mind has to be equanimous, which means it had to have mastered acceptance to the level of unconditional surrender. I don't set the bar too high, I set it exactly where it's meant to be. Anybody that's told you it's lower is a bullshitter. And so, like my master Osho, I set up devices. Like this talk. It's designed to contract you. I hope all your sphincters are tightened. Yeah. Now let go. So you've come into this meeting and you want to get free, otherwise you wouldn't be here, or you want to raise your consciousness levels, or you want to find heart, or you want to get away from all the pain that you've discovered lives inside of you. Well, this intervention can help, but you have to follow the instructions, as I followed the instructions of my teachers. If you think just collecting knowledge is going to help you, please leave now, because it won't help you. No amount of knowledge ever raised a person's consciousness levels. No amount of knowledge ever healed a wound of the heart. Yet most seekers collect knowledge thinking that somehow it's going to help them. It doesn't help. As a matter of fact, it makes you knowledgeable and more behind the 8 ball than someone who's just beginning. In developing the beginner's mind, which means I don't know, you're setting yourself up for a chance to higher consciousness, a chance to freedom. Those who think they know are so lost, but they don't know they're lost, because they have some of the answers, but they're not living it. They just have the answers. That's knowledge. It's dead. A lot of people don't realize that satsang is about presence. It's not about the words. It's not about knowledge. When I was in satsang with my teachers, I tuned into the energy field and found myself as truth. Over and over and over again, because that's what the energy field around someone who's awake can do for you.